Here in the Outer East, it is round 5. Today's clash coming between Belgrave and Yea. Should be a pretty interesting game, this one. Both teams yet to get a win so far in season 2025. Yea currently in 7th on the ladder with an 0-3 record. Belgrave are currently 4th with an 0-4 record. So a good opportunity for both of these teams to try and get a win today. As I say, really, really important. Yea only 2 spots out of the final, so should be an interesting one. Don't forget as well, we do have the footy being played at 2:20 p.m. between Belgrave and Yea. Of course, the last time these two sides played was round 18 last year. The winner of that game was through to the finals. A loser missed out, and ultimately that was Belgrave who won that game and went through. As it stands at the moment, Yea currently sit inside the top 5 with a 1-2 record. Belgrave, unfortunately, have started their season 0-4, and their season has been ridiculed by injury so far. So good opportunity for Belgrave to maybe get their first win of the season. Yea can potentially solidify their spot within the top 5. So plenty of interesting action here through the Outer East as well. Don't forget, if you sign up and subscribe to the local football hub, you will also get to be able to see action in between the game between Upway Tacoma and Woori Alec. Trent Diop will be out there commentating. So plenty of action here once again in the Outer East. But right now, it is all about the A grade netball between Belgrave and Yea. And both sides are breaking away and about to get action underway. 12:20 is the scheduled start time. And we might even get action underway a little bit early here today. So Yea going to the right-hand side of your screen, or actually the left-hand side of your screen. I'm on the opposite side of the court, and we are underway. Round 5 action, Rochford Wines match of the round, Belgrave versus Yea. And Yea already into attack so far. It is Tamara Morris-Thomas with ball in hand, and a quick pass is a good one. Meg Sunblom, who's leading the goals for Yea in season 2025, is offline with the first shot at goal, but has a second opportunity, and Sunblom puts it through, and Yea are on the board early days. So Maddie Woosnam with the centre pass can respond. Out it comes to Carroll. Quick pass over the top to Lattori. They just work it around to Belgrave. This is Gawley. Gawley will go back to Lattori, knocked away on that occasion by Skipworth. Lattori, Gawley. And they've turned it over, so an opportunity here for Yea. Skipworth out of defence. It's a good pass. Quick one on to McDowell. Over the top, nearly worked out for Beattie. But they have turned it over. So Brana Durridge out of defence for Belgrave. Good pass it was. Occasion on to Gould. Gould gets it back from Brana Durridge. Long passes, good one to Gawley. Waits a couple of moments, then goes long with that occasion to Carroll. Carroll, short pass back to Woosnam. Pops it over the top, looking for Lattori and finds her. Lattori doesn't have a shot at goal. And Woosnam feeds it back to her in a better spot. So this time Belgrave will have a shot at goal. Sorry, this delivered the scores early days in the first quarter. So Hendry taken out of the contest, and Lattori converts and gets the game on an even keel. 1 goal apiece early days, and the Rochford Wines match of the round. So Woosnam with the centre pass. Short pass was a good one to Carroll. Gawley, long one. Lattori gets it over the top. Well-weighted pass. It was a good feed, and Lattori can get back-to-back goals for Belgrave, and she does. So first lead change of Rochford Wines. Match of the round action. 2 goals to 1 the way of Belgrave. So out of the centre goes McDowell. Long pass was a good one from Morris-Thomas. Knocked away there on that occasion by Brana Durridge. So McDowell once again in the centre. Short pass was a good one to Morris-Thomas. And now finds a way to Sunblom, who puts it away and once again gets scores level. 2 goals apiece. So Woosnam out of the centre, out wide. Was a good one on that occasion to Carroll. Comes back inboard to Harlock Knight. Woosnam again is involved. Maddie Woosnam has Gawley as a short option. And this might work out. So Gawley hasn't had a look at goals so far today. Lattori kept it in, but she's turned it straight over. Hendry did well. Got it moving quickly on to Beattie, who goes much longer on this occasion. To Spagnolo. Comes out wide. Once again, it's Beattie involved, is it? No, in fact, it was Hendry. Good pass inboard, and well done by McDowell to find Spagnolo. Doesn't convert, but it falls into the hands of Sunblom, who does convert and gets Yea back in front. 3 goals to 2, and McDowell has the centre pass. So out it comes, short one was a good one to Spagnolo. Waits a couple of moments, then goes back to McDowell. Much longer one this time, and Sunblom's got it again. And she converts again. So 2 goal difference for the Tigers, 4 goals to 2 early days in the match of the round. Woosnam Short one is a good one to Carroll, and they've turned it over here again. So this is a good start for Yay early days. Back it comes. Morris Thomas did well. That one fired on that occasion to Sunblom. Spagnolo's got it. And contact against Barana Durridge. So Spagnola should be unaffected here, and she puts it away. 5 goals to 2. So good strong start here for the Tigers. Now to come. Spagnola again is involved. Long pass. Looking for Sunblom, but knocked away by Barana Durridge. Carroll. Morris Thomas, sorry, in fact. And cut off by Gould, is it? Yes. So Barana Durridge out of defence. Good one to Woosnam. Barana Durridge again is involved. Gets it moving to Gould. Gould will come inboard, and that's a good one to Woosnam. Woosnam, good one. Waits a couple of moments. Lattori retains possession. And clever one over the top from Gouli. Lattori can get this back to a 2-goal difference, and she does. Much noted goal there for Belgrave. And Lattori provides it, and Woosnam will have the centre pass, an opportunity to make it back-to-back goals. Some good clean play. Woosnam does well to Carroll. Long pass. Gouli, though, couldn't get there in time. It was beautifully cut off by Skipworth. Found Beattie. Morris Thomas. Waits a couple of moments. Beattie involved there once again, so too McDowell. Spagnolo out wide, it was a good one. To McDowell and Spagnola, good work rate. Feeds to Sunblom, and Sunblom will not convert on the first opportunity. Gets it on the second. Back to 3 goals the difference. So 3 goals to 6 it is. And McDowell once again with the centre pass. Finds Spagnolo. Looked at McDowell, but then went short on that occasion to Morris Thomas. McDowell. Good pass out wide. That'll work out just fine to Spagnolo. Morris Thomas. Again, laterally, Belgrave defence holding up pretty well for the moment. Spagnolo knocked away by Barana Durridge, but cleverly collected there by Morris Thomas. McDowell did well to find Sunblom. They could make this a 4-goal difference if she shoots accurately, but Barana Durridge did well, and she gets them moving. Here is Gould, looks at Woosnam, eventually decides to go for her. Waits a couple of moments, comes back to Gould. Up the court on this occasion to find Anna Carroll. And then again retreats to Gould. Gould unsure where to go, so she just goes short on that occasion to Harlock Knight. Carroll, Gould, Lattori. Laterally to Woosnam. Woosnam, short pass is a good one. To Lattori once again. Carroll finds Lattori. And a potential shot at goal coming up here for Yay. And that's a clever feed, nicely done by Carroll. And Lattori converts. There we go, back to 2 goals of difference. It's a good start to the game. A couple goals lead to Yay, but Belgrave hanging in. So Woosnam wanted Carroll. Long pass is a good one. That is a clever interception by Beattie. Got front position. It'll come back to Skipworth. Beattie again involved, who started this passage of play. Hendry, long pass is a good one. Sunblom. Morris Thomas has Spagnolo, goes for it. And Spagnolo got it. There we go. Clever shot at goal there, and once again, Yay extend the margin to 3 goals. And they've broken too early here, the Tigers. So Belgrave with an opportunity. So out it comes. Woosnam did well. Comes out wide to Carroll. Carroll, good one to Lattori. And once again, Belgrave respond. They get it back to 2 goals of difference. And they're hanging in there. So again, Maddie Woosnam with centre pass duties. Goes short to Gould. Gould will come back to Woosnam. Woosnam did well to Gawley. Carroll and Lattori. And really good opportunity for back-to-back goals here for the Magpies. And Lattori converts back to 1 goal of difference. And just like that, Belgrave are right back in this contest. Out wide, Spagnolo did well to Morris Thomas. Sunblom has got it. And she should convert here, and she does. So back to a 2-goal difference. Quick response there for the Tigers. Woosnam out of the centre. Gooley did well. Beatty cleverly done. Had a couple of good moments in this first quarter. A couple of clever interceptions. Finds Spagnola, who waits a couple of moments. Comes out wide. McDowell is involved. Looked at Morris Thomas, but then came out wider to Spagnolo. She'll go back to McDowell. Here is Spagnolo. Long shot at goal, and she's got it. There we go. Back to a 3-goal difference. And they've got the centre pass once again. McDowell wastes no time to Spagnola. Goes short to Morris Thomas. Could have gone back to McDowell, but decided to go shorter on that occasion to Sunblom. Spagnolo did well, found Sunblom with a bit of room. So Meg Sunblom puts it away and makes it a 4-goal difference. Biggest lead of the game so far. Wisdom with the centre pass. Pops it over the top and a bit of contact there on Carroll. So back it comes to Harlock Knight. Short pass is a good one to Wisdom. Couple of 1-2s for Gooley. So good feed from Maddie Woosnam, and Gooley in a pretty good spot here to convert and makes use of the second opportunity, gets it back to 3 goals the difference. So again, McDowell out of the centre. Wastes no time to Morris Thomas, who gets the move. That's a really good interception there by Barana Durridge. Comes back. Did well to Gould to Woosnam, and then a short one to Harlock Knight, and then comes to Carroll. Carroll wanted Lattori, but she had to retreat back to Harlock Knight. She goes laterally, Maddie Woosnam, unable to control it eventually, though, does get it under her control. Short one to Gooley. Here is Lattori. Wanted to feed to Gooley, but had to come back to Annalise Carroll. Gooley, Carroll, and now Gooley should line them up from here, and she does, and she converts back-to-back goals for Belgrave, so once again, back to a 2-goal difference. Real swings of momentum in this game so far. Belgrave got back to 2 goals after trailing by 4. And they'll continue to press here. So Beck Gould to Woosnam. Looks at Carroll, eventually gets it to her. So Beck Gould right on a measure here at the edge of the attacking third, and that's a really good pass. Lattori on the end of it. And she can get this margin back to 1 goal after it was 4 goals not so long ago. Monique Lattori converts, and it's back to 1 goal the difference. 10 goals to 9 the way of Yay. So back in the centre. Morris Thomas did well, got it over the top to Sunblom. Bit of contact on McDowell. Comes out wide, Sunblom. Just to steady the ship a bit for Yay. They've conceded the last 3 goals, and Barana Durridge did well. Knocks it away once again. McDowell. Just for a moment, thought she was called for stepping anyway. Little underground pass will work out to Spagnolo. Finds herself on the end of it, won't have the shot at goal, but she finds Sunblom. And Sunblom converts, gets it back to 2 goals the difference, 9 goals to 11. So back in the centre for Maddie Woosnam, out to Gooley. Woosnam again, waits. Gooley involved too. Harlock Knight, short one to Carroll. Looked at Woosnam, but then again back to Harlock Knight. Carroll, Yay defence really holding up quite well here, has to be said. Lattori, Gooley. Woosnam. Gooley, Carroll. Waits and fires it off to Gooley, who can't convert, but Lattori rebounds off the post. And converts again back to 1 goal the difference, 10 goals to 11. So we definitely have a pretty even contest on our hands at the moment. Morris Thomas receives it from McDowell, then goes long. It was a good one to Sunblom. Morris Thomas, Sunblom again. Good feed from Morris Thomas, and Sunblom converts with the second opportunity. Back to 2 goals the difference, 10 goals to 12. Woosnam to Carroll. And once again, the Yay defence holding up well, forcing Maddie Woosnam to hold the ball too long. Morris Thomas. Lateral pass. Gould did really well to get front position and wins the ball back for Belgrave. Barana Durridge to Gould. Wants to go back to Barana Durridge, eventually gets it to her. Has Woosnam as a short option, but goes back to Gould. Looks at Harlock Knight, but then goes further to Gooley. Gooley will go back to Gould, who's been involved 3 or 4 times in this passage. Gooley over the top to Carroll, nicely done. Short to Lattori, who might have a look now. She can get it back to 1 goal the difference. And Monique Lattori converts back to 1 goal the difference, 11 goals to 12, the way of the Tigers. So out of the centre, McDowell to Spagnolo, quickly on to Morris Thomas. Sunblom's got a bit of room to work with. And that's a good clever feed from Morris Thomas. Sunblom, though, won't convert. Not with the first opportunity, not with the second. Miranda Durridge, was it legal? No. Just gave away some contact. So Yay with a reprieve. Spagnolo will line them up, and Spagnolo won't convert, but Sunblom got first hands to it, and she does convert on this occasion. Back to 2 goals the difference. 11 goals to 13. So Maddie Woosnam with the centre pass duties again. Laterally and weighted the pass pretty well in the end to Gawley, who found Carroll and gets it to Lattori. Probably won't have a look at goal here. Gawley comes back to Carroll. Gawley. So Carroll puts it up for Lattori, who's got it. And once again, Monique Lattori gets it back to a 1 goal difference, 12 goals to 13. So they hang in there, Belgrave. They're not going away. McDowell, Morris Thomas, back to McDowell. Long pass is a good one, but it's over the head of Spagnolo. There we go, so a reprieve for the Yay defence. And we'll start with Miranda Durridge, who goes short to Gould. As Harlock Knight, but goes long to Woosnam. Woosnam comes back inboard to Gould, and that'll do us for quarter time. And the Rochford Wines match of the round here between Belgrave and Yay, and a pretty tight contest so far. 12 goals to 13. Welcome back to Rochford Wines match of the round action. Round 5 between Belgrave and Yay. We're about to get underway in the second quarter. So Anna Carroll's moved into the centre, and instantly Belgrave have turned it over. So they work it around. Morris Thomas comes out wide, McDowell, and now Yay have turned it over. So Irene Gabel, who's moved into goalkeeper. Carroll, back to Gabel, Miranda Durridge involved. Carroll held strong, Miranda Durridge. Gould, Carroll, Beck Gould again. Carroll has been pretty busy so far in this passage. Gawley does well to find Lattori, and she can level the scores here if she shoots accurately. And Monique Lattori has got it. There we go. Scores a level, 13 apiece. So good start for Belgrave. McDowell looks at Morris Thomas and goes for her. Long pass is a good one to Sunblom. Sunblom will come back to Morris Thomas. Looks at Spagnolo. Underground pass is a good one. Comes out wide. Carroll couldn't quite cut it off. So it'll come back to McDowell. And good accurate shooting there from Spagnolo. 13 goals to 14. Carroll out wide to Gawley. Stapleton. Miranda Durridge did well. Carroll, once again back to Miranda Durridge. Stapleton waits and taken too long again. The Yay defence been so strong today, and a couple of times now they've forced Belgrave into holding the ball too long. Hendry did well out of defence. Long pass good one from McDowell to Morris Thomas. Over the top to Sunblom. Comes back to Morris Thomas. Underground pass works out to McDowell. And that's a good one. Meg Sunblom can make this a 2 goal difference, and she does. 13 goals to 15. And once again in the hands of Jess McDowell with the centre pass duties. Spagnolo presented nicely. Short to Morris Thomas, knocked away by Miranda Durridge. Morris Thomas again back to McDowell. Nearly cut off by Carroll, but couldn't take it cleanly. May have given away contact as well. McDowell, short one to Spagnolo. Will she line him up? Yes, she will. And Gabel did well, had front position. So Yay forced the turnover. Out it comes to Miranda Durridge. Back to Gabel's well-weighted pass in the end. Here we go. Beck Gould is involved. She's moved into wing defence for this quarter. She goes laterally to Miranda Durridge. Short pass is a good one to Gawley. Back to Gould. Finds Carroll. Looked at Stapleton. Eventually gets it to her. Stapleton waits. And then goes short to Lattori, who has Gawley long, goes for her. And Gawley will line him up. And doesn't convert, and Skipworth did well. Cuts it off on the last line, finds McDowell, goes short to Hendry. Hendry waits and then comes back to McDowell. Beattie is involved. Hendry again. Comes out wide. Spagnolo found a bit of room to work with. Again, Hendry. Long pass is a good one to Sunblom. Then Morris Thomas. Lateral pass worked out beautifully. McDowell. That's an errant pass and trickles out of play. And Belgrave with a reprieve in defence. So Rangabell. Get Belgrave moving out of defence. Looks at Gould, but then goes even longer. It's a good one to Carroll. Branadridge had room to work with. Goes back to Carroll. Moves it up the court to Stapleton. Short pass again to Bet Gould. Pops it over the top nicely to Gawley. Here is Lattori. Back to Carroll. And Lattori. Contact called against Ellie Hendry. And Monique Lattori can get this back to a 1-goal difference. No, cleverly done. Good feed. It was to Gawley, and Gawley converts back to 1 goal the difference. And just when you think, yeah, you're going to get away, Belgrave just find a response. So back in the centre. Carroll. Branadridge did well. Made it work. Stapleton. Pops it over the top nicely to Lattori. Comes back to Stapleton. Here is Gawley. And Lattori can level the scores. A try by 1 goal at the moment. Belgrave. Skipworth. Just gave away contact, and Gawley does level the scores. Belgrave right back in this game. 15 goals apiece. What a tight contest we've got in our hands so far. So out it comes. Morris Thomas to Spagnolo. Back to Morris Thomas. Did well to get it back to Beattie. McDowell. Well checked there by Gould. But eventually they do find Sunblom. Doesn't convert. Cabell nearly had it. And eventually Meg Sunblom finds a goal and just gets that margin back for Yay. So they lead by 1 goal. Carroll with centre pass duties. Wanted Stapleton, but then just had to go short to Gawley. Long pass. Once again, Carroll is involved. Here is Lattori. She goes back to Carroll. And Lattori does well. Found some room out the back. And once again, Belgrave level the score. 16 goals apiece. Some good response here. Long pass. Finds Sunblom. Back to McDowell. And seems Yave turned it over. So Rangabell. Short to Gould. Through the hands. Kept it. No, not quite. So McDowell. Oh, Spagnolo kept it in, and very cleverly done it was in the end to get it to Morris Thomas. Had no control over that ball whatsoever. Yay, hold possession. Spagnolo, Sunblom to get the lead back for the Tigers, and she's got it. Gets the ball to drop. Back to a 1 goal difference for the Tigers. But it is goal for goal at the moment. We do have a real tight contest on our hands now. Look away pass. From Carroll, Bet Gould, back to Carroll. Looked at Stapleton, but went longer to Lattori. Waits and waits, eventually gets it to Gawley, who chips it back, and Lattori couldn't get it under her control. So the A defence, once again holding up. Beattie is involved, comes all the way across to McDowell. Skipworth. McDowell once again is involved. Calls for Morris Thomas to come at her, and she does. McDowell fires in a long one. It's a good one too to Spagnolo. Comes back to Morris Thomas. Did well to Spagnolo. Comes back. Morris Thomas once again is involved. And Carroll did well enough. So there we go, Nicole McDowell receiving a warning for the set there from the umpire. So Rangabell. Long pass, a good one. Carroll, Branadridge back to Carroll. Gets them moving. Here is Stapleton. Long pass worked out to Lattori. Laterally to Carroll. Cleverly collected off hands, and that's a good feed to Gawley, who has the opportunity again to level the scores. And once again, Belgrave get the responding goal, and they get this game back on an even keel. 17 goals apiece. So McDowell out of the centre. Short pass, a good one to Morris Thomas. McDowell, much longer one this time to Sunblom. Morris Thomas. Spagnolo, all through the hands of McDowell, and Morris Thomas recovered it nicely, and Spagnolo eventually got under her control. It was chaotic from Yay, but they made it work. So Carroll out of the centre, did well. Pops it over the top to Gawley. Looks at Stapleton and made it work. Comes back to Durridge. Stapleton did well. Got it to Carroll, and here is Gawley. Doesn't convert Skipworth. Well done. So Laura Skipworth wants to go long to McDowell. That's exactly where she goes. Stapleton's gone down, but she's back up. Here is Spagnolo up the court. Comes inboard to McDowell. Much longer pass. Did well to get it to Sunblom. Morris Thomas calls for it, but it comes back to Beattie. Short one back to Morris Thomas. Morris Thomas out wide of Spagnolo. Morris Thomas again for about a third or fourth time in this passage. And here is Sunblom to make this a 2-goal difference. Cleverly done. Meg Sunblom. Well, this time she converts. This time she gets it back to a 2-goal difference. And once again, Yay just find a little bit of ascendancy in this game. So McDowell did well. Morris Thomas. So Morris Thomas will just go short to Beattie. Through the hands of that occasion of Gawley. Morris Thomas comes inboard. McDowell put too much on it. A little reprieve for Belgrave in defence. Gabel looked at Gould, but they'll get brought forward here. So Gould will eventually end up with it. She'll go short to Carroll, looks at Stapleton, but then comes inboard, and that'll work out just fine to Durridge. Here is Gawley. Short pass back to Stapleton, lost control, but regathered composure and did well to get it to Lattori. And Monique Lattori converts, and again back to a 1-goal difference. So Carroll, Stapleton, Gawley. Wanted to go long to Lattori, but probably the smarter option is to go short to Stapleton. She can go back to Gawley. No, she'll go long to Lattori. Skipworth got front position. They have infringed the Belgrave defence, so do they. Yay, in fact, here is Lattori, who can get this back on an even keel. Did well. So Lattori with the second opportunity this time. No, maybe Gawley. Really important this goes through for Belgrave, and Gawley converts back to a level ball game here at Belgrave. 19 goals apiece. Spagnolo presented nicely, did well over the top to Morris Thomas, puts it up, and that's really nicely done by Sunblom. Held composure, converts the goal, and once again, Yaya back in front, 20 goals to 19. What a contest we have here in the match of the round. Just can't break these two sides up at the moment. Durridge gets it out wide, comes back in ball. That's a good one to Carroll. Beattie. Spagnolo was, sorry, in fact. Couldn't do it legally. Durridge. Long pass is a good one to get it to Carroll. Carroll comes inboard to Stapleton. Stapleton, Gawley. Converts the goal. Once again, we're back on an even keel. Hendry was taken out of the contest. 20 goals apiece as we start to approach half-time. So Lauren Cronk's come onto the court for the first time. She's into the centre position for Yay. Spagnolo, Cronk. Morris Thomas, sorry, it is in fact. Short pass to Sunblom. Now Spagnolo again gets Yay back in front. 1 goal. The difference it is 21 goals to 20. Carroll again to the centre. Short pass is a good one. Gawley, Lattori with plenty of room to work with. Good quick play from the Magpies, and Lattori doesn't convert. Skipworth knocked it away. And off the hands of either Hendry or Skipworth. So Stapleton tucked away in the pocket. Goes short to Gawley, might line them up. No, she'll come back. Probably good option to Carroll, and here is Lattori with front position on Hendry. Once again, Monique Lattori can get the scores level. Not with that opportunity. Lattori levels the scores again, 21 goals apiece. So Cronk to Spagnolo. Long pass, a good one to Spagnolo from Morris Thomas. Cronk. And Sunblom with an opportunity. Once again to get Yay back in front. And that one just a bit shallow, but she will get another crack. That one a bit shallow too. Gabel. Contact called against Branadurridge. Sunblom, third time lucky, converts. And once again, Yay just find a 1-goal margin, 22 goals to 21. Carroll in the centre. Short pass is a good one. Did nicely to Stapleton. Here is Lattori. Wanted to go for Gawley, but had to go short to Stapleton. And now Lattori. Again, just can't find it on the first opportunity, but she has been able to make it work eventually. Lattori this time. She gets it with a second opportunity and again levels the scores, 22 goals apiece. So Lauren Cronk with a centre pass. Out wide to Spagnolo. Here is Morris Thomas. Good long pass to Sunblom. Sunblom all the way back to Cronk. Spagnolo might line them up here, and she does, and she converts beautifully. 23 goals to 22. Once again, Yay with that 1-goal margin. Can't be too long left in the first half here, you would think. Gawley presented nicely. Found Stapleton. A long pass. Lattori didn't keep it in play. Skipworth out of defence for Yay. Long pass is a good one to get it to Cronk. She'll go to Spagnolo. Had a bit of room to work with. Spagnolo waits and waits. Eventually goes back to Cronk. Cronk wants to go long to Sunblom, and that's exactly what she does. Here is Morris Thomas. Short one to Spagnolo. Branadurridge cuts up the initial attack, but it will stay with the Tigers. So Spagnolo once again with ball in hand. Comes back to Cronk. She'll go back to Spagnolo. And cleverly it under Sunblom. And there we go. Yay've got a 2-goal break. 22 goals to 24. So this is working really quite nicely at the moment. Cronk. Short pass. Out wide is a good one. Morris Thomas back to Cronk. Long one. Gabel nearly cut it up. And that might have too much on it. Is it kept in? No. So now Belgrave with a reprieve in defence. Gabel can get them moving. Did well to Gould, Branadurridge, and that will do us for half-time. And the Rochford Wines match of the round, round 5 between Belgrave and Yay. And what a tight contest it has been so far. Just 2 goals separating the two sides. The score's at 24 to 22 in favour of the Yay Tigers. We'll head off to a short break for half-time. When we come back, we'll have all the action from the second half of what should be a very interesting game here in the match of the round. Match of the round. It is Belgrave trailing by 2 goals. Lattori out wide. Woosnam, who's back on the court this time as wing attack. Does well to get it to Gawley, and Belgrave can make some early inroads here and get it back to 1 goal the difference, and they do eventually. That one drops, and 23 goals to 24. So McDowell once again back on the court to Spagnolo. Nearly a dangerous one. McDowell goes long, and here is Sunblom. Could get the instant reply. Gabel does well off hands, gets it to Carroll, and Belgrave are on the counter-attack. Branadurridge does well up the court, back to Gawley. Branadurridge again is involved. Had Woosnam, but then went short to Gawley. Here is Carroll, and she does well. Good bit of play from the Magpies. And Lattori gets back-to-back goals, and more importantly, she levels the scores for Belgrave, 24 goals apiece. So Carroll with the centre pass, and the Magpies potentially to get their first lead since the first quarter. Gawley back to Branadurridge. Good pass it was to Carroll, Gawley, Lattori. And Gawley gets Belgrave back in front for the first time since the first quarter. So McDowell with the centre pass. So suddenly Yay find themselves in arrears. They've led for most of this game, and Belgrave have done well to get it back. Here is Morris Thomas. Laterally, doing it well. Spagnolo came back to McDowell. She gets it back now. Spagnolo won't line him up. She comes back to Morris Thomas. Held that one beautifully. Puts it up, and Branadurridge holds it, and suddenly the Magpies have really found some momentum. Carroll comes back to Gabel. Branadurridge, who started this passage, finds a good option there in Carroll. Gawley back to Carroll. Through hand, so Branadurridge. Carroll did well. Much longer pass that time. Gawley to Lattori. Can make this a 2-goal difference for Belgrave. This will be their biggest lead of the game, and she's got it. 26 goals to 24, and suddenly the Magpies just finding some ascendancy in this contest. Woosnam comes back to Carroll. Waits. And contact called there against Morris Thomas. Harlock Knight, short pass, good one to Carroll. Waits, and she's taken too long. Ooh. So an obstruction there coming at an inopportune time for the Tigers. Lattori could make this 3 goals the difference. Oh, she's turned it straight over, coughed it up to Skipworth. Here is Beattie. Can go long, and she does. McDowell finds Sunblom. She'll go back to Morris Thomas. Morris Thomas could get to Spagnolo. Eventually she does. Back to Morris Thomas. Juggled it, but then eventually got it under her control. Spagnolo won't convert. Cabell got front position. Good defending from Belgrave. That pass going over the top of Harlock Knight. She did well to keep it in play. This is going to be an interesting one to adjudicate. And a ball fall into the hands of Kim Harlock Knight. Didn't get Belgrave moving. Branadridge waits, puts it up, and eventually it falls for Carroll. Did well to control it. Comes back inboard to Woosnam. Held her position well, did Carroll. She's been good since she's moved into that centre position. Here is Gawley to make it 3 goals the difference. Maybe Lattori finishes off the job, and there we go. Belgrave out to a 3-goal break, 27 goals to 24, and suddenly Yay are the ones who've got to find a bit of a momentum swing. Long pass is a good one. Sunblom, back to McDowell, Beattie, Spagnolo, and here is Sunblom. Good work rate. She was up the court moments ago, and now she's lining them up and doesn't convert. And Cabell again, another really good interception. She's had some good moments in this 3rd quarter. Branadridge gets them moving up the court to Gawley. She'll come back to Branadridge. Gawley again too was involved. Short pass, good one. Carroll. Gawley out wide to Woosnam. Here is Gawley again. This to make it 4 goals the difference for Belgrave, and they are on a roll at the moment, the Magpies. They've really gotten motoring in this 3rd quarter, and Yay don't have a response for the moment. Carroll. Good pass to Woosnam. She'll go out wide to Lattori. Could potentially make this 5 goals the difference. Woosnam, Gawley. And Gawley doesn't convert, but Lattori collected it nice for the post, and she converts. Beck Gould back on the court now, and back into goal defence. McDowell, what can she create at the centre? She finds Spagnolo. Short pass to Morris Thomas. Across to Sunblom, and she's put too much on it. Gabell. Out wide. Harlock Knight. Up the court to Carroll. Gould. Inboard, good one it was. This will come back to Gawley. Gawley to Carroll. And they've coughed it up. So Skipworth on the last line of defence. Beattie held strong. Once again, Skipworth could go to Hendry, but she goes to McDowell. McDowell does go to Hendry. Waits and waits eventually. Had to go to Morris Thomas. Pops it over the top to Spagnolo. Spagnolo, short one back to McDowell. Looked at Sunblom, but couldn't get it to her. Morris Thomas. Now the Belgrave defence holding up well, and Cabell just couldn't quite get her hands to it, and Sunblom needs to convert here. Can she keep it in play? Umpire happy to allow it. Here is Spagnolo. Just has to go through for the Tigers, and it doesn't. And Gould did really well off the post, and now once again Belgrave on the counter-attack. Carroll did well to get it back to Gould. Gawley goes laterally and finds Harlock Knight. She goes to Woosnam. Woosnam to Lattori. Woosnam again is involved, and she's put too much on it. So Skipworth on the last line. Long passes over the head, and Belgrave again forcing Yay to make mistakes. So Harlock Knight with ball in hand. Short pass to Carroll. Pops it over the top. Lattori did well to control it, and a good short pass to Gawley, who can make this 6 goals the difference, and she's got it. Biggest lead of the game now for Belgrave. They have raced away from the Tigers. Woosnam gets it out wide. Comes inboard to Harlock Knight. Being well corralled by Cronk. Cronk did well to gather it. She finds Spagnolo. Wants to go long to Sunblom. That's exactly what she does. Sunblom has to get moving. Waits and waits as McDowell, and she did well to get it to Spagnolo. This has to go through, and it does. Back to 5 goals the difference. And they do have the centre pass here, Yay, so they need to convert off this one. Cronk calls for it, won't get it. But they have obstructed, have Belgrave. Short pass is a good one. McDowell. Spagnolo wanted Sunblom, but had to come back to McDowell now. Sunblom's got it. She can make this back-to-back goals for the Tigers, and she converts. 30 goals to 26. So Stapleton moved into the centre, knocked away, and this will fall into the hands of Sunblom. She goes to Cronk. Cronk waits. Just got it away in time. She goes back to McDowell. Cronk again is involved. Here is McDowell. And cleverly done to Sunblom. This to get it back to 3 goals the difference. And she's got it. Beautifully done there by Sunblom. And Yaya right back in this one. Cronk moves it up to Sunblom. She comes back to McDowell. McDowell to Spagnolo. McDowell again involved. And beautifully done there by Sunblom it was. Controlled a not particularly favourable pass, and now she's got it again, Sunblom. This time she can line them up, and this time she'll get it back to 2 goals the difference. And just like that, Yaya back in the game. Back to 2 goals the difference. Stapleton out wide to Gawley. Gawley comes back in board to Harlock Knight. She moves it on to Lattori. Lattori out wide to Gawley. Wanted Woosnam. Comes all the way back to Harlock Knight. Cronk knocked it away, but couldn't get it to one of her teammates. Now Gawley. Lattori. Can she find a steadier for Belgrave? She can't, but maybe Gawley can. Gawley, she doesn't convert. Lattori with a second opportunity. Nick Lattori gets it on her 3rd attempt and Belgrave's 4th. So back to a 3 goal difference, 31 goals to 28. McDowell out of the centre, finds Cronk. Back inboard, it's a good one. To Hendry. McDowell, unsure where to go, comes out wide to Spagnolo. Spagnolo all the way across to Cronk. Cronk looks for Sunblom. Eventually gets it under her control. There had to be contact there against Stapleton, and there was. Short pass, underground one it was to Spagnolo. Has to convert here, and she does. Back to 2 goals the difference, 31 goals to 29. Belgrave still in front, but Yaya coming. Stapleton, Woosnam, Lattori. Short pass back to Woosnam. All the way across. This will work out to Stapleton. Stapleton eventually had to retreat to Gawley, and she does well. That's a good feed to Lattori. And Monique Lattori once again gets the steadier for Belgrave. Back to 3 goals the difference, 32 to 29. Cronk gets it moving to Sunblom. Sunblom all the way back on this occasion to Beattie. McDowell, Spagnolo, Cronk right on a measure here at the edge of the circle. Spagnolo again is involved. Gabel knocks it away. But it won't work out in the end for Belgrave. Beattie finds Spagnolo, who will line them up. Spagnolo won't get it to drop, it's off hands. And they've held up the Belgrave defence, so Gabel will start them off. Comes out wide to Gould. Comes back to Gabel. Does nicely. Gould found Stapleton. She goes laterally to Harlock Knight. Back to Gould. Off the hands of Belgrave. So good opportunity here for Yay. Skipworth. Beautifully done by Beattie to keep the ball in play. Short pass is a good one to Spagnolo. All the way out wide once again to McDowell. McDowell puts it up. Here is Sunblom. Can she get it back to 2 goals the difference? She can. She shoots truly when it matters, and again back to a 2 goal difference. Can Belgrave respond out of the centre? Stapleton. And Hendry, cleverly done. Just got up at the right time and affected Gawley. So Hendry, who started off this passage of play, finds Beattie. Good long pass it was to Sunblom, who comes out wide to McDowell. Spagnolo calls for it short. She'll get it. And a clever feed to Sunblom. This for back-to-back goals for Yay. Sunblom levels the scores, 32 goals to 31, and Yay are right back in it now, and they've got the centre pass. If they can convert off this one, scores will be level. Good pass out wide, that'll work out just fine to Spagnolo. She comes back. Good one it was to McDowell. Here is Cronk. Sunblom had a bit of room to work with, but it comes to Spagnolo. That's an errant pass, but it should work out okay. Beattie recovers it nicely. She goes back to McDowell. McDowell will go short to Spagnolo. And Spagnolo levels the scores, 32 goals apiece. And Yaya back from trailing by 6 goals earlier in this quarter. They have regained the ascendancy. So plenty of momentum shifts in this game so far. Gould Short to Woosnam. Woosnam waits the pass nicely to Stapleton. Stapleton will get it back from Gawley. Here is Lattori. This has to go through for Belgrave, and it does. So they get a steadier, and they get the lead back for the moment. 33 goals to 32. So it comes out wide. Spagnolo did well. Cronk. Short pass is a good one. Cronk will get it back. She goes underground, and Sunblom did well. Got it back to McDowell. Gabel got the hand in, but she couldn't complete it. Spagnolo calls for it short, and she was on it, and Spagnolo once again levels the scores, 33 goals apiece. And we have a real tight ball game as we start to near three-quarter time. Stapleton with a centre pass. Woosnam made it work. She decides to go back to Gould. Gould with a long pass. It's a good one too to Gawley. She'll go to Stapleton. And now Lattori. And Lattori converts, once again gets Belgrave back in front, 34 to 33. Cronk, long pass, finding Spagnolo. She comes back to McDowell. Spagnolo again involved, she'll go back to McDowell too. Here is Sunblom. And Sunblom nearly stolen by Gould, but couldn't gather it. And Sunblom again just a bit shallow with the first shot at goal. But converts for the second and again scores a level. Just cannot split these two teams. It's been so close all day. Here is Woosnam. Waits, short pass back to Gawley. She retreats to Harlock Knight, then goes back to Gawley. And here is Lattori. Stood tall amongst the pack, and once again does she convert. Not with the first shot at goal, but she gets it with the second. So once again Belgrave are back in front, 35 goals to 34. Spagnolo, short pass, good one to Cronk. Comes out wide to McDowell. Spagnolo to Cronk. Through hands, but Beattie eventually gathers it, and here is Sunblom. And Sunblom again levels the scores, 35 goals apiece. It is goal for goal once again, and that'll do us for three-quarter time, and the Rochford Wines match of the round between Belgrave and Yea, and scores are all dead level heading into the final change. We'll head off to a short break for three-quarter time, and when we come back, all the action from what should be a thrilling final quarter. Welcome back to final quarter action of our Rochford Wines match of the round between Belgrave and Yea. If you're just tuning in, scores are level as we start off the final quarter. It is Jess McDowell with a centre pass.
Oh my Lord.
No, in fact, it will be Anna Carroll to start off proceedings in the final quarter, who comes out to Miranda Durridge. So scores are level. Anyone's game here in the final quarter, just what we like to say in the match of the round. Gawley, short pass. Woosnam, cleverly done. Good feed to Lattori, who will get a first look in the final quarter. And Lattori converts the opportunity, gets Belgrave in front, 36 to 35, the way of the Magpies. So now Jess McDowell out of the centre to Spagnolo. Waits and waits, and Woosnam not quite. So short pass is a good one. Comes out wide. Spagnolo. Back to McDowell. McDowell wants to feed it back to her, but Sunblom did well. Got herself into a good position. Meg Sunblom eventually gets that ball to drop and gets it back to an even keel. 36 goals apiece. Gawley waits and waits. Getting the hand in there was Beattie, but she couldn't finish off the job. So Woosnam with possession of the ball for the moment. Woosnam, well done again, another really good feed to Lattori. Who converts and again gets Belgrave back in front, 37 to 36. McDowell out of the centre, finds Cronk. Long pass, good pass it is. Sunblom with plenty of room to work with. Was well spotted by Cronk. And Sunblom eventually finds a goal, so scores the level again just like that, 37 apiece. Goal for goal in the match of the round. Carroll, back to Miranda Durridge. Carroll again, waits and waits, eventually fires it off to Woosnam. Looks what's up ahead of her, comes back to Miranda Durridge. Short pass over the top is a good one to Carroll, then to Gawley. Gawley all the way back to Miranda Durridge, thumped away though by Spagnolo. And into the hands of Maddie Woosnam with the throw in. Good long pass. Gawley, Lattori. Again with front position on Skipworth. Doesn't convert. Skipworth nearly snatched it. But Lattori will get another look, and this time she converts back to 1 goal the difference. Belgrave get that lead back, 38 to 37. Good pass out wide. Skipworth pops over the top nicely to Sunblom. Waits and waits. Did well eventually to get it to McDowell. She finds Sunblom. Nick Sunblom, so important for Yea. This goes through and she's got it again. 38 goals apiece. Again scores a level. You just cannot split these two teams at the moment. Been such a tight tussle all day. Gawley, back to Carroll. Gawley, long pass, good one across to Woosnam. Woosnam. Gawley eventually found her footing. And Alex Gawley converts, gets Belgrave back in front, 39 to 38. The Magpies with that 1 goal difference. So it'll come out wide to Cronk. She goes back to McDowell. McDowell, Sunblom, all the way back to McDowell. Wanted Spagnolo, but comes back to Beattie. Woosnam stepping offside and probably gave away contact as well. Spagnolo comes across. Here is Cronk. And then another offside infringement there for Belgrave. This time Spagnolo, bit shallow with a shot at goal. And here's a win for Belgrave. Gabel did well enough. Comes out to Miranda Durridge. Short pass, good one. Gabel out wide to Miranda Durridge. Gawley over the top to Carroll. And here is Lattori. She can make this 2 goals the difference. And Monique Lattori does. 40 goals to 38, and they've got the centre pass. Advantage Belgrave. They found a bit of a break in this last quarter. Gawley goes back to Miranda Durridge. Long pass is a good one. Lattori goes back to Woosnam. Woosnam. And Lattori through hands, and it came off her hands last. No contact given away by Skipworth, so she's done well enough. The Yea goalkeeper. But how about the interception from Carroll? She does well. Short to Gawley, back to Lattori. And Belgrave. Gawley kept it in, but Skipworth again. Clutch moments in these last quarter from Laura Skipworth. So important for her team. Long pass from Hendry through the hands of everyone. So here is Irene Gabel. Inboard, good one to Carroll. Held it strongly. Miranda Durridge, long pass, a good one to Gawley. Gawley looks around, finds Lattori, good feed. And Monique Lattori still can't find that 3-goal margin, but Carroll recovers it nicely. Maybe Gawley can find it for Belgrave. Through hands, Beattie did well, and once again Yea on the counter-attack. Good long pass from McDowell to get it back to Morris Thomas, who's back on the court. Sunblom, back to Morris Thomas, waits and waits. Little underground feed, worked out well to Spagnolo. McDowell, Spagnolo again, and here is Sunblom, who gets it back to 1 goal the difference. So 40 goals to 39. So it'll come out wide. Good one. Spagnolo was involved, receiving it there from McDowell. She goes back to McDowell, then to Beattie. Morris Thomas. Little underground pass works out. Morris Thomas again comes out laterally. Good one it was to McDowell. Spagnolo lines him up and doesn't convert. Miranda Durridge did well enough, and Belgrave are on the counter-attack, so again they can maybe find a bit of a break here. Gawley Laterally back to Brandon George, who started this passage of play. Does well to get it to Carroll. Lattori calls for it long, but it goes short to Gawley. Once again, Carroll. So too Gawley. And she's got it, Alex Gawley. Gets it back to 2 goals the difference. 41-39 the way at Belgrave, and Carroll's got the centre pass. So once again, the Magpies have the break. Gawley, Carroll. Lateral pass is a good one to Woosnam. Woosnam waits and took too long. So good pressure from the A defence. So Laura Skipworth out of defence. Did well to get it to Beattie. Beattie, long pass is a good one to Spagnolo. Spagnolo wanted to go to Morris Thomas. Eventually that's what she does. Finds Sunblom. And they've turned it over again, have Yay. Gabel, Granadurridge. Gawley gets up the court and presented nicely. Bet Gould has come back onto the court as well as wing defence. Lattori did well. Back to Carroll. Lattori, Gawley for a 3-goal margin. She's got it. 42-39. Massive moment of the game. What a break this is for Belgrave with a 3-goal difference. Starting to get midway through to the last quarter. Long pass is a good one. Sunblom comes back to McDowell. Pops it over the top. Morris Thomas gets it under her control. McDowell fires one in. Brenna Durridge did well. Another good moment for her in this last quarter. Belgrave on the counter attack. Gawley gets it moving. Woosnam off the hands of Beattie. Maddie Woosnam finds Gawley, won't line him up. But they should stay with Belgrave. Lattori won't convert. Monique Lattori to make this a 4-goal difference for Belgrave. Makes no mistake. 43-39, and Carroll's got the centre pass. And Belgrave now right in the box seat, you would think. Woosnam to Carroll, finds Gawley. Here is Lattori. It was a good feed from Gawley. Lattori's shot at goal a bit shallow, but she'll get a second look. And Lattori makes it 5 goals the difference. And Yay need to be quick. Time's starting to become a factor. Spagnolo presented nicely, pops it over the top to Morris Thomas. Carroll knocks it out of play. That's not going to work.
About halfway up.
Morris Thomas comes back all the way back to Beattie. Through hands, that should work out to Sunblom. They work it around to Yay. Sunblom again with ball in hand. Good look at goal here and she converts. So crucial that one went through. So they work it around here. Oh, here we go. That's a costly turnover potentially. Morris Thomas with a good long pass. She does well to get it to Sunblom. Sunblom, McDowell, Morris Thomas. Sunblom has got it. Needs to put this through and she does. Back to 3 goals the difference, 44-41. And Yay suddenly with a bit of momentum. They have to convert off this centre pass though. And can you believe that? Morris Thomas breaks too early and they've coughed it straight up. Branna Durridge, Gawley, Gould, Carroll, finds Lattori. Woosnam called for a wide. And they've turned it over Belgrave, so maybe an opportunity here for Yay. Skipworth will start it off. Laura Skipworth, short to Hendry. Lattori knocks it away. Hendry, unsure where to go. She goes back to Skipworth. Found McDowell with plenty of room to work with. Good long drive, and Spagnola got up at the right time. She does well. Finds an option with Morris Thomas. Spagnolo finds Sunblom. Has to put this through. Meg Sunblom won't get it back to 2 goals with that one. She does with this one though. Back to 2 goals the difference, 44-42. Belgrave though still with a break. Brandon Durridge calls for it wide and was honoured. She comes back to Carroll. Finds Gould. Gould looked at Woosnam but went short to Brandon Durridge. Brandon Durridge back to Carroll. Contact given away there by McDowell. Gawley calls for it short, knocked away, but recovered nicely by Carroll. They work it around. Here is Lattori. Can she get this back out to a 3-goal difference? She can. 45-42. Great shooting there from Monique Lattori. So back in the centre for Jess McDowell again. This time it's Spagnolo's broken too early. Really costly mistakes these by Yay. Gould. So Beck Gould pops it over the top to Lattori. Looks at Gawley. Cleverly cut off though by Hendry. Needs to get Yay moving, and she does. Finds Beattie. Can't waste too much time. Here is Spagnolo. Waits a couple of moments. Comes back to McDowell. Then back to Beattie. Good long pass to Sunblom. Sunblom waits and waits. Short one to Morris Thomas. Unsure where to go, and she's taken too long. Well done by the Belgrave defence. This game's starting to get away from Yay. Gabel. Out to Barana Durridge. That pass not kept in. So Beattie needs to get Yay moving, and she does. Waste no time to Hendry. Hendry moves it on quickly to McDowell. McDowell pops it over the top. She's turned it over. Barana Durridge cleverly read off hands. Gabel to Carroll. Comes inboard. Good one it was to Gould. Short back to Barana Durridge. Where does she go? Short again. Gould. Carroll. Wants to go underground. Comes out wide. Gawley. All the way back to Barana Durridge. Pops it over the top beautifully to Carroll. Gawley had room. Knocked away by Hendry and must have come off the hands of Gawley, says the umpire. Skipworth, beautifully cut off by Lattori. She goes back to Gawley. And a clever feed. Lattori can just about ice this game if she shoots truly here. And she doesn't. And Yay keep it alive, but you reckon time's starting to get away from them now. Can't be long left in this last quarter. McDowell calls for someone to come at her. So that's exactly what Cronk does. He's come back onto the court. She finds Spagnolo. Comes back inboard. Good one to McDowell. It wasn't McDowell, sorry, it was Beattie. Cronk comes out wide to Spagnolo. She'll go back to McDowell, I think it is. Here is Sunblom. Just has to put this through, and she does. Back to 2 goals the difference, 45-43. So Anna Carroll with the centre pass duties. Comes out wide to Gould. Gould short pass is a good one to Gawley. Gawley through her hands of Cronk. Can she win it? No, she can't. Barana Durridge out wide. Short pass to Woosnam. Woosnam with a bullet. And this is going to work out. Yay are going to come on the counter-attack here. Hendry unsure where to go. Eventually just goes short to Beattie. Beattie finds Cronk. Cronk, good short pass to McDowell it was. And the ball's brought forward to Cronk, and Belgrave need to be careful here. Because if Yay convert, they will have the centre pass. Good long pass to Sunblom. Can she get it back to 1 goal? She cannot. Gabel. Surely Belgrave hold on now. Can't be long left in this game. Gabel. Long pass is a good one. Comes out wide to Barana Durridge. Looks at Woosnam, but goes long to Lattori. Lattori goes back to Gawley. Woosnam. Gawley. This to surely ice the game. Gawley doesn't convert, but Lattori rebounded it. And Hendry has to come off. And that should just about ice the game. Ellie Hendry has to come off. No replacement, so Skipworth is going to be on her own to that goal circle, and that'll do it. Belgrave hold on in round 5, Rochford Wine's match of the round action. It was a tight tussle all day, but the Magpies record their first win for season 2025. Yay, unfortunately, stay winless. It was a pretty tight game. Both teams had their ascendancy, but Belgrave in the end just proving a bit too strong on the day.